Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to a perfect day, a steamy 96 degrees here in downtown Mawa. Of course, coming in with the intro music, Stay Alive by the Southern Cross Band, who performed this weekend at the Osprey along with Kinderhook and other 70s and 80s bands back in the day. And they will be doing another show at the shore in September of 2026 when those guys they're old enough for it. I'm not so sure you schedule that far out in advance, but hey, Southern Cross, they allowed me to use their song. Joe and Sonny Pruitt, love you guys. And of course, behind the glass, your friend and mine with the spotlights in his background there, the glare, wearing the semi-decent cowboy hat. That one works for me. Dave Sturcio. Good evening, everybody.
What's going on, man?
Hey,
Yeah, no, this one's gonna have to give you a run for your money. It's
that's
literally
good.
the
It has to.
star,
Well, no,
and
I
that's it.
said
I don't know what else you want from me.
I prefer the blue hat with the white star, but I agree that's the hat. Listen, I don't know if you guys know, my listening audience. I am Dave hired me as his hat connoisseur, and
Right.
I got when he goes shopping for hats, so we go around together, and occasionally I miss the appointment, and he buys these hats, and he's at working at White Castle. But yes, that is the standard hat. I'm wearing the R. I'm a Rutgers fan. You're wearing the star. I get all that. Um, I read your silly post about early preseason Cowboy stuff, which nobody knows a goddamn thing. All you read about is injuries.
I know.
It's awful. And
Awful.
I can't get into preseason. It's too it needs to be like maybe I need a game or two preseason games where they cut those guys like the 9th round pick out of Pawtucket or whatever. So, here we are live on what are we on YouTube Live? Make sure everybody goes to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, like the video, everybody, please.
And please do that. We need more likes. Dave has been sending me notes every, I guess, Wednesday. I guess you send them. Yeah.
No, I send them on. I send them on payday on purpose.
Oh yeah, payday. And we actually been we it's funny. Dave is also a mastermind in philosophy because sometimes I read the text, right? I'm like, wait a minute, is Dave saying we're doing shitty, or is it a way? Because you always spin like, well, holding firm there.
Yeah, no, I do it simply to show you that I care.
Listen, you know what? The bottom line is we are definitely, though, Dave, you can shut me up. We are definitely growing this program.
Yeah.
The numbers are constantly going up. Sometimes we get a little lost. People don't understand. Sometimes stuff goes out on the internet and it's not, everybody's like, well, how many people are listening? It's not always so easy to say I have 7 people listening. Sometimes it's like out there. You don't know what the hell's going on. So,
think about it. Think about it like this. How many people are off, like not being like, how many people are able to tune in at 1:00 on a Tuesday? Like if you're obviously working a 9 to 5 and you have no access to your phones or anything like that, you catch up later. Janine usually catches up like 3 days later. So
a lot of people, and most people, although people watch the video for sure if they're at work, they can pop it on. But most people do, in fact, Apple Podcasts, which is still a mainstay of that. So, but we're definitely growing it. We had to get we had to put everything in the right spots, and I blame myself on that. I didn't. Finally, I don't know passcodes for my. I still can't. Anyway, that's another story. Dave's working with me on that. My silliness, but of course, this is show number 227. 227, and of course, you know what? This might be. This is for my fans now. This might be my favorite number of all time. 27. I should go back and look at it because they're just funny guys. Like Stephen Diddy not only is going to drive off the road, he's going to get back on and drive off the road again. Because everybody thinks of Brad Goulden, catcher after Thurman Munson on the Yankees. You got Mel Hall. You remember Mel Hall?
I remember Mel Hall.
Yankee. Jay Johnstone played for the Yankees, wore number 27, and he's famous for, John Sterling. He was John Sterling's radio partner in the beginning, and Sterling used to call him Jaybird. And of course, I call Janine Mashaw Jaybird, which always makes me laugh. Anybody with a J, I'll just call him Jaybird. Then you got Graham Lloyd, who had a hot wife. And then you got Elliot Maddox. Anybody?
Forget about World Series winning pitcher, reliever out of the bullpen for the Yankees. No. He had a hot wife. That's all.
Yeah, and I think Graham Lloyd, his wife, you know what? God, my brother's going to hate me for this. I think he had a wife that like died. And then he got like another wife, or maybe I'm screwing up. Some pitcher on the Yankees back in the day, his wife passed away. It's sad. But we went to a game. This is how bad. this is obnoxious. My buddy Tommy and I and Bobby Cristiano and Larry Pacifico, we were all single. We would go to games and wait for them to come out sometimes because we were drinking and they would come out and we would just check out who their entourage was. And you come out with your wife, and we'd be like, this is like early in the, what's it like? ESPN is the internet now. TikTok covers all this shit. But like you had to actually wait. And the poor Yankees had to come out of Yankee Stadium into a shitty parking lot. That's why people wonder, I can't figure out why no Yankees, why they don't sign with the Yankees. You know why? You got to walk out into the general public of the Bronx with sometimes limited NYPD right there. And you got to go to a shitty parking lot, which it was visible from fans, like looking through a fence, like it was tennis courts. And you could just, and if you lost, Yankee fans, like, just you walk out with your wife and 6-year-old kid. Yankee fans, like, Grandma, you suck. Just yelling at, they all wear suits. You can tell that nobody's comfortable. Now all the parking lots are underground. You just drive out in your car with the shaded windows and you're gone. But not the old Yankee Stadium. And plus, like, if you broke through the fence, you could probably get to someone's car. It was so awful.
Well,
you go to like Arlington,
and that was back in the day before it was heightened security. And now, unfortunately,
you can't get near anybody. But
back in the day, as recent as unfortunately yesterday, some crazy.
We're going to talk about that in a second. Yeah. Don't you worry. But then you got Elliot Maddox, he was the first guy that used to have the shades. When the ball's in the air, he'd flip the shades down, which when we were little, we used to go, Elliot Maddox flips the shades. Then you got Butch Weiniger, a catcher who the rumor is that Butch, I guess I can say this on the air. To me, if this rumor is, I love history and the myth, like the stat that Jim Brown was never thrown for a loss. That 1 year Wade Boggs only swung and missed 5 times. Like I love stuff like that. Even if it's not, it's just hysterical to me. But Butch Weiniger, as the story goes, got cut from the Yankees because Dave Winfield was caught with his wife. Did you hear that rumor? And they were like, Butch Weiniger was driving to the stadium. He called the Yankees and said, well, I'm going to kill him. So and they were like, no, well, he got cut on the way. I don't know if that's true. That's hysterical to me. Then, of course, there's a guy in the Yankees right now, he is their best hitter because Judge is hurt. Mr. Giancarlo Stanton, who I don't know if you saw his base hit last night, although he struck out a few times.
Is that what we're celebrating nowadays? Base hits?
You know what it is, though? Did you see how it's like it's a rocket? People say
he swings violently, and if he makes connection, it usually is a hard hit ball.
And he's third in batting, and he's third in batting average on the Yankees. So he should lead off, as far as I'm concerned.
Bat him twice in a row if you can. It's bad.
But then, of course, you got the rest of these guys. Ortiz, Fisk, Catfish Hunter. But on the Giants, you got Rodney Hampton, Brandon Jacobs. I never thought Brandon Jacobs was all that good, but people like the way he ran.
He's a bruiser.
And then you got bruiser, but it was always second and 8. I prefer a guy. My new thing is like,
well, he was a big guy. Where my dad used to say stuff like that. It's like he still says stuff like that, where he's just like, all he has to do is fall down forward, and you gain like 2 yards. Just fall down.
What's the other one? Everything. The other comment. The guy's running and all that, but the yardsticks don't move. There used to be a guy. Oh God, there was a guy in the Giants who would be like a Tony Dorsett, but he would be dancing and it looked like from the upper deck where we sat like, 2nd and 9. The guy just ran for an hour and a half and it's 2nd and 9. Where,
you ever see those stats when the quarterback's scrambling and then he has to elude a bunch of guys and it's a gain of 6, but how many yards did he actually run? 37 back and forth,
I love that stuff. I really do. It cracks me up. Then you got Larry Heater, another Venditti just flew off the road. But then, of course, for Dave Sturcho's dad, Ron Fellows, I was interrupted with some internet stuff.
With business text, you were interrupted. I know. You literally said, stop bothering me. I'm looking up a guy for your dad.
When I'm looking at numbers, that is pure. That's my time. I don't need to hear about passwords. I need to find out about Ron Fellows. Man. And then, of course, another thing before your time, but you remember Irv Cross on the pregame shows? Before your time. It was Irv Cross, not Jane Kennedy. How can I not remember? Oh, my God. My memory sucks. Anyway, Irv Cross did the major pregame show, and he was number 27. Venditti is now in the Grand Canyon. Hysterical. But that's my 27 number. I can't believe we've been doing this long. Now, my baseball card guy, again, I This another classic. I'll hold him up right here. Jeff Husan. I guess that's how I'm going to say it. Jeff Husan. Now, Jeff was a powerhouse guy, and he reminds me of me and my softball, which we're going to get to. He played from 88 to 2000, 12 years in the league, 7 teams. You realize that's hard to, that means you would really, it's not even 2 years a team.
Well, like from like 88 to 92, it's like something that would be a blur to me, but the guys playing in like 98, 99, 2000, that is insane.
Okay, well, you're going to laugh. I always, everybody knows, if you listen to the show, I always look for that one thing that like, it's like unique that he could say when he's 80 years old, sitting at the bar, talking to a 20-year-old, he can go, well, you know what I did? I either hit the first home run at the new Texas Stadium, whatever the hell it is. But he played for Montreal, Texas, Baltimore, Milwaukee, Seattle, Anaheim, and the Cubs. 7 years. He was traded. I learned this. I'm going to ask you a question. When you get traded for a player to be named later, how later is it?
I mean, I guess they have. I don't know. I really don't know. Because, 2 days ago, the Yankees made a trade. They traded away Carlos Carrasco, which I forgot he was on the team.
Me too.
But they traded him for cash considerations or a player to be named later. And I'm just like, well, that's great because I didn't even remember we had this guy. So that kind of worked out.
Listen, this guy got traded for a player to be named later, and that player wasn't named until 4 months later. It was in April, and the deal didn't go through to August.
That conversation like the GM calls him up like, hey, remember that time? Yeah. Right. Well, now's the time. It's like, what?
Think about that. You're a GM. You go to work. You're like, oh, hey, we're supposed to get a guy, right? Right. How does that conversation work? Like, or does your boss come in? Like, if you're that's something maybe the assistant GM handles, and he's like, boss, we can't get anything for him. And someone say like, well, we got to redo the lounge. Can we get like furniture? Like,
you know what? I think it was either a player to be named later or cash considerate. Just cut him a check. Just send him $100,000 and see what happens.
See what happens. Imagine if you're the player. Like, wouldn't you want to know you're playing for another team? Going, wow, they didn't give up anybody for me yet.
Yeah, don't play too well in August because in September we're shipping your ass out of here because you're the player to be named later.
See, all I do is sit around and think about documentary ideas. I want to know the documentaries called "Player to Be Named Later." I want to go through the history of baseball and find out what's like. I don't know. Was a stud ever named player to be late?
That's a really good question and really good research.
Usually,
is there any Hall of Famers that were involved and they were the player to be named later?
I'm guessing there was, but it has to be the 30s, in the 30s and 40s. Has to be. Or they even did it that way. I don't even know. Anyway,
they made trades back then.
This guy Jeff Husan. Now again, here I am thinking this guy sucked. He batted .234 lifetime, 439 hits, 150 RBIs. Played out of the University of Wyoming, made their Hall of Fame, obviously. Now, this is the two kickers. Ready? When Cal Ripken broke Lou Gehrig's record, 2,131, okay, who was the third baseman?
Mr. Husan.
There you go. Jeff Husan was rounding over at third. So again, when he's 80 years old, said, I was over at third.
Well, that is kind of cool because considering the standing ovation that Ripken got when he trotted onto the field, and now it's like he looks over to his right and there's Jeff Husan. Hey, you know.
Yeah, and Jeff probably wanted to get in the camera, so he tried to get close. Right. But then I find out I couldn't. It was like a blank thing, and then I said, "Wait a minute." I looked up, and he is for the last 20 years the TV color guy for the Colorado Rockies. So here I am.
We just call him.
So he made like $300,000 a year in the 80s, and now he's been on TV for 20 years. So nice. Jeff Husan, he was a Topps All-Star rookie. Remember those things right there?
Oh,
Topps All-Star rookie right there. Jeff Husan. He's married. I have pictures of his wife. Everybody's hot. Kids are hot.
He's married. I got pictures of his wife.
Everybody's hot. But of course, now,
oh my God.
Those of you, listen, it's very hard to get news these days. You know, Fox News, CNN. It's very hard to get Patreon news during the week. However, on the Jimmy Palumbo News Channel, we were mired. At No Pepper Johnson, but of course, Tyson Hogan, family with a deep three. Bruce Hogan, Tyson Hogan's dad, is the number 52 here at Shea, and he also redid his daughter's account. So we have some technical difficulties with Patreon.
You know what's even worse is that Tyson probably went up to his old man and said, "Hey, Dad, do me a favor. can you just sign up for this thing real quick, just so like Jimmy Palumbo can get out of a slump? And his dad's probably like, who the fuck is Jimmy Palumbo?
Exactly right. Matter of fact, I didn't know, and Tyson's gonna laugh at this. I didn't, because everybody has weird names on Patreon. You don't really know who they are sometimes. And I got Grayson, his daughter said, I said, hey, thank you so much. Like, almost like I worded like, how do I know you or something? Like, she was like, my dad, Tyson, really likes your show. And I guess it was like, I guess we think you're funny too. I don't know if the daughter's 9 or she's 35. I have no idea.
Get off the internet, Jimmy. You never know.
But I tried to I wanted Bruce Hogan on the show. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you why. Because I'm a huge Allman Brothers fan. And as Tyson was telling me, Bruce Hogan, like, literally hung out with Dwayne Allman and that Allman Brothers crowd back in the day. And suppose he's got tons of stories. So I emailed him back and forth. And I was like, would you want to come on the show? Because I could ask you so many different questions. I'd love, suppose he's got a bunch of stories about this, that,
Jimmy made a new friend out of this. That's so great.
And,
look at that.
And you know what happened? He was like,
together.
But of course he said, going on the air is not my kind of thing. But there's still hope. I got to get him on. Maybe I'll have him and Tyson on at the same time.
Yeah, that'll be the week I skip.
Well, you will stay and produce this fine program.
Okay.
Anyway, so we are now at 52. And I want to give a shout out to Bob Sheehan, Maka Deej, and Dave Ben. Some of my Patreons there. Now, of course, in showbiz, I'm always chasing miracles. And so what do? You put the patches on and you chase miracles at chasingmiracles.com. That's right. Chasing Miracles stem cell patches here. Energy, better sleep, non-invasive. Put them right on your back or right below your belly button. The X39, the X49. And there's a bunch of other stuff they're involved with that's really cool. I'm waiting for my new
I'm going to need a restock. I've been having some ankle issues again, so I could definitly use a restock.
You have Donna's number, right? I
think so. Yeah, I got to
give her a shot. She'll stuff works. Ankle injuries. All right, here we go. You'll be out. If you're on the Mets, you'll be out for 8 weeks. Go check it out. ChasingMiracles.com here. Shit, your body needs. We'll be right back. All right. Well, let's see. Well, a couple of things. First of all, on a serious note, that shooting. As a matter of fact, my daughter's friend's mother works in that building over at BlackRock. I assume she was there. I don't know. But I know she wasn't injured, but I just, that must have been terrorizing.
The story gets weirder and weirder. Apparently, the guys from Vegas, drove across the country with this AR-15 massive assault rifle, just walked in casually. Ready for this, Jimmy? He went up the wrong elevator bank. And you know those buildings in the city.
Yeah, you can't get to certain levels.
To certain places. Like, I remember, like, Howard Stern has his own elevator at Sirius rather than, the common folk like myself. But yeah, apparently they went to the wrong floor, went to a different company, was targeting the NFL.
Did he play in the NFL?
No, he's a kid. He never made it to the league, which makes no sense to me because he's blaming the NFL for CTE, but he's never played in the league. He said he played in the league in a suicide note, which is ridiculous. He's never played in the NFL ever.
Yeah, maybe his dad, anybody.
Brain, maybe he thought he played in the NFL. I don't know.
Maybe his father, or I guess we'll give
I don't know, but
the bottom line is,
just give it.
I don't want to even. I appreciate us talking about it, but I fuck him. I feel bad for the poor lady just working behind the reception desk. I feel bad that the cop was there because they have security and cops can work, when their days off. And he gets shot, and 4 other people got killed, or 3 other people. And now that I'm listening, I caught one news channel, and they were like, "Oh, that's why you got to have security outside the building." You know what? Let me tell you something. If somebody wants to take a gun and do some mass damage, you can buy these guns off the black market, and you load it up, and they shoot 5,000 rounds in 6 seconds, and you walk up to the mall or to Dave Sturchio's house or Jimmy Palumbo's house or the wherever you want to go, Yankee game, whatever it is, and you just start firing, you're going to kill people. And I don't care. We all can't be in a plastic bubble. It's horrible.
My wife had to go to work today. And I was like, listen, just keep your head on a swivel. Just park your car in a garage, beeline it to your building, get inside. It's like,
I know
this is the kind of shit that you shouldn't have to worry about. You know what I mean?
And we have a mental health thing in this country that we need to get better at. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I just know very sad. Shout out to the NYPD Blue and the poor guy who died and the other people. It's not, you're going to hear a lot about NYPD Blue and all that, but what about the other three assholes who just going to work, ladies sitting there answering phones, for Christ's sake?
Right.
Anyway, thoughts and prayers to those people. Also, since our last show, Hulk Hogan passed away. I know that was a big deal for you. And I know you're a wrestling guy, but for me, Hulkster, that to me, Hulk Hogan represents a Babe Ruth kind of thing, where even if when you say Hulk
that's
Hogan,
a legitimate, perfect analogy.
right, when you say Hulk Hogan, in other words, if you're doing a sketch or you're on stage and there's a big guy in the audience and you say, look, and he's got blonde hair, you just like, oh yeah, Hulk Hogan over there. Everybody knows wrestler. If you say there's some other names from back in the day that you would know really well, they're household names to you, just like Larry Heater. But it just doesn't register. I mean, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan. Give me another one. I'm drawing a blank here. But
Macho Man.
Yeah, these are pillar guys of the sport. And I know I'm not going to get into politics. I don't care about that. He just was a really big wrestling star and really kind of, you want to say who put who on the map, but he was part of that huge.
Listen, the WWE doesn't have what it has right now without Hulk Hogan, right? Yeah, it just doesn't. Wrestling was frowned upon for a long, long time, but he was on the forefront. He went to battle for everybody. It was one of those things where it's like I felt, being the fan that I am and in the business for the last 13 years, like you felt this one in your gut, and just felt I felt like I was I forgot where I was on the phone with two of my colleagues talking business, and out of nowhere, Chris Payne was like, Hogan's dead. And I was like, whoa, wait, hold on. And in my mind, I'm like, Tyson, because you don't think of Hulk Hogan, but that's it, before you know it, it's all over. So,
you know what it's like too, especially for your age. Hulk Hogan was a giant. But even he was actually older by the time you got into it. I remember, I'm not a wrestling fan. I didn't watch any of that shit, but I just knew how big. It'd be like 40 years from now, or hopefully 40 years from now. You turn on the TV. I'll be long gone probably, but you turn on the TV and all of a sudden, like Derek Jeter dies. It's like Jeter. Like what? And it's one of those things. I think Hulk Hogan is like that in that arena. Plus, like my mother, you know what? The great way to do it. My mother knows who Hulk Hogan is.
Right.
That's all you gotta say.
Right.
Anyway, also Ozzy passed away. He's been feeling like shit for a while, and
the timing of that was wild because he just had his farewell thing. Just had a show, and then so you had Ozzy, you had Hulk Hogan, you had the gentleman from the Cosby Show on an accidental drowning.
Jamal Warner.
Yeah, but I'm like, that was a heck of a week last week, man. Like people are just dropping like flies.
You know what the new rule is? Okay, the Jimmy Palumbo Show is giving new laws in this world right now. Okay, you want to do the big bad bill by Jimmy Palumbo? Just one item. If you go into the ocean and there is no lifeguards, you should be arrested and fined $35,000. Very simple, worldwide. People want to go for a night swim, you die. You want to go down to LBI when no lifeguards are there, you die. 99% of the time when you read drownings at a beach, 99% of the time, there's no lifeguard. So I feel very bad. Young guy with his daughter. Oh my God, nightmare. And of course, Ozzy. Ozzy, it's funny. He has like two careers. First one is rock star, Black Sabbath, and then Ozzy Osbourne. And then, years later, well, you never know. He had that not fake. You didn't know if he really knew what he was doing, and he built an empire off that silly show.
And he was like, they were there on the forefront as like one of the first reality TV shows to really catch fire. Yeah.
I remember laughing at it in the beginning, and then I think I watched 2 episodes.
Well, to me, he was always like a bumbling, he would just like, and nobody would even understand what the hell he's talking about. And he got Sharon,
but you wonder if that was it was good entertainment for that thing. So a shout out to people dying and blah, blah, blah. We had a couple of big ones this week. In other news, which ESPN has been covering heavily this morning, Big softball win last night. Big softball
What
win.
a segue.
Palumbo, 1 for 3 on the day, played second base for all. I used to split time at second base. No longer. I was at second base for all
You earned
7
yourself a
innings.
starting spot, huh?
Oh, yeah. And I'm leading the team in batting average. Can't take that away from me.
Are you going to break the other news or what?
And well, the other news is I was voted most improved. Now, some of the fan base is very upset at this. Most improved. I don't think I was
Player of
that
the year.
bad to get it. And also named to the Mawa Recreational Men's Softball League All-Star Team, which is
10th
10th
round
round draft pick named to the. When's the last time a 10th round pick was named to the All-Star Team? That's a stat I had probably 1,000 guys. But I was 1 for 3 last night. Pissed off at myself though. Running around second, I tried to go opposite field, hit a lazy fly. But not much work in the field. We were down 12-5, but we won 16-12. Comeback late in the game, and of course it was nice. Temperature was nice. It was 91. It dropped from 98 to 91.
It's been brutal.
We have it's a single elimination.
All right, so you're not in a apartment. You're in a condo, right?
Yeah.
So you pay your own utilities. It's not included.
Yeah.
Okay.
HOA fees.
Okay. Have you seen your June bill for like?
No, I didn't get my bill yet. And I've been
trying.
I've been running
mortgage of my house to pay for my fucking electric bill.
I know. You know what? I saw. You know what's funny? I can't live in a hot house. I go to a buddy of mine's house, and I'm like, dude, is your air conditioning all right? What's going on here? Like, I'm sweating my balls off while I'm nursing a vodka tonic. I was like, I cannot have that. My bill's going to be. Listen, I can't afford. Please, my cable bill.
I'll be fully transparent. My bill was over $400.
Oh my God.
We got that bill. We got that bill after we threw all the money down to do my backyard. So I was like,
by the way, Dave Sturcho has
a
fine looking back. I honestly love what you did. You should post pictures. We'll do that next week. But
that's my wife
nice.
doing, by the way.
Nice. Your backyard. You took those steps out. I think you did everything you did looks very, very nice. Your backyard's cool. I got to give you a shout out for that. However, I was 1 for 3, batting .666. In order to bat over 700, I need to go 4 for 4 tonight because it's single elimination. We play tonight. So
wait, you're batting .666?
Yes.
All right, I would purposely bunt just to get out, just to drop that out. You just get off that number. That's sacrilege.
I know the devil. That could be. Well, maybe it's 6. Maybe it would be a 667 with the the point.
Whatever. Just get off the 666 number.
But yes, 24 for 36 here at Shea. Having a fine year, veteran. I get pissed though. Some of the guys don't like. I you know what happens? I ran a team for 35 years, so certain things happen during a game that I'm sorry. Like I become Billy Martin. We started throwing the ball around. Everybody plays softball. The name of my softball book will be called Keep the Batter Off Second. Nothing pisses me off more when a guy gets a normal single, okay? Fielder cleans it on one hop, and at the end of whatever the fuck goes on, the batter is now at second place. First of all, if you look at the last 1,000, I'm going to go to AI on this. Google how many people from the outfield throw a guy out at the plate, okay? And all these guys come up throwing. There's two things that go on. The catcher usually sucks. So even if you throw it near, he's not catching it. And when the ball bounces off the cage back there, the ball's shooting all over, everybody's running around the base. Next thing you know, it's second and third. Next guy gets a bloop single. Now 3 runs have scored. Let the guy score. Keep the batter off second. You got a double play situation. Makes me crazy. But, I start barking.
You know what I'm also realizing? So next year, if you're continue to play at the ripe age of 61, you would have to assume that the captains who does the draft, there's captains that do the draft.
Yes.
Okay. So if they refer back to this season, there's a chance that Jimmy Palumbo goes from a 10th round unsigned, didn't know who the hell you were.
That's it. Unsigned.
A top 3 round pick. If I'm a captain and I just see your average at the top of this guy's team, I'm like, yes, I got to get this guy on my squad.
I know if you're a new manager, someone can make a grievous first round draft pick because there are much.
They draft you and they don't see your picture, and then they show up to the game. You're like, oh shit.
Okay, here's how you know. First of all, I think the most improved thing to me is disrespectful. I had a fine year last year. The other thing is,
what did you bat last year? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It was maybe around 400. I was okay last year. I did fine. Here's the thing. Here's how you know it's over. You get a base hit. I hit a rope down at third base line, right? You get to first base. You don't even touch first base. And you hear, need a runner, Jimmy, okay? Jimmy, okay?
Oh, man.
And then my manager, Nick, if he's
Do one of these.
yeah, my manager, Nick, says to me, okay, hey, Jimmy, we only have 11 guys. You're going to play all 7 innings at second. I said, okay. And he's like, listen, if you need a breather, let me know. I'm like, now it was hot out, right? But I'm like, need a breather. And then like 2 fly balls in foul territory, he dropped. And I felt like saying, hey, Nick, you need a breather? Want me to go out and play left field? Because I would have caught those last 2 balls.
Listen, they're probably not in short, and they don't want you just kicking the bucket on the field. So
I got to admit, though, I get to first base. There was a ground ball to third, and I was forced out at second, but the guy threw the ball away, so I had to go to third. I got to third base. First of all, at game time, it was literally 91 degrees, like pea soup. I took a couple breaths, and I was like, whoo.
Well, yeah, it was 91, but the real feel was probably like 110 with the humidity yesterday.
Play on turf. Anyway, so I'm having fun with that.
So I have to send it to you. You'll have a fucking riot over it. I think Barstool or somebody did like a bracket, like winner, like a March Madness type bracket of greatest old man sayings. And like,
oh yeah, send me that. I love it.
I said to my dad, I was like, Dad, first of all, you've said half the bracket in your lifetime, and I said, but I think the one that should have won, and again, I don't know if there's a winner or anything like that, but there's one. It's like, it's the humidity that does it.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, that's
bro. Me and my dad shared a laugh for 10 minutes straight on that. On that alone.
Right, and then
it's not the heat, it's the humidity that does.
And then of course I went to Phoenix one year, and people are like, oh, you're going to Phoenix? Yeah, the temperature's hot, but there's no humidity. Okay. It was 106 degrees when I got to Phoenix in July. Okay. I go outside. I'm like, yes, the humidity is true, but I got outside. I went, hey, like, you can't stay out. Like, if your car breaks down in Phoenix, you can't like hang around. You ever see someone hanging around the outside of his car? No, you dial 911 and say, I'll be dead in 20 minutes unless someone comes and get me here. 106 degrees is fucking hot. I don't care. But yes, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. I love that shit. But yeah, so softball, God bless. Having a lot of fun with that. So now I caught shit on TikTok. I was ripping on the Mets last week, so I don't think they're that good. And people were like, oh, I guess you didn't know they won 3 in a row, 4 in a row, whatever the fuck they were saying. And my main thing was the Mets just haven't done anything yet. And I look at the 3 main guys. Alonso was batting, 325 a month ago? He's batting 263. Soto's batting 249. And Lindor, who I've always had a problem with, everyone just loves this guy. And I think his salary he always finishes strong. And I'm probably wrong about this, but you know what? How come no one's saying, hey, Lindor, what's with the 251? Sorry, that stinks.
Well, from what I gather, not just Mets, just across the board, it feels like now 250 is now the new 300. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if you're batting 250, you're more than okay. It's like,
listen, when Giancarlo Stanton has a higher batting average than you, your agent's not taking any.
Oh, he's also got a shit ton of less at bats too. So
it doesn't matter. But he would be in the league leaders of home runs. He had a home run Friday and Saturday. Nobody cares. Anyway, so the Mets are, but I'll tell you, Diaz is shit. I think they said the last 38 games.
Best closer in the league right now, man.
He's got Mariano stats. Hate to say it. He doesn't look. The only thing he does, he gets in a little trouble first and second sometimes. But then he's got that when he pitched against the Yankees a couple weeks ago. I don't follow the Mets closely, obviously. I was like, oh, this dude, he's unhittable, very Mariano-esque. Now you got to do it for 20 years, but Diaz and the starter, what's his name, Sengas, their stats are quite.
Having help here too.
Yeah, they're quite incredible. But everybody else, I don't know. I don't know what you're going there. I'm just not sold on the Mets yet. As far as our Yankees, my God.
It's over, Johnny.
The Yankees stink, man. I tell you,
listen, it's going to be July. August in a couple days. And I can't use the it's just April, it's just May,
No,
it's just
dude,
June. It's the dog days of summer, and they're really showing their ass,
Dude,
and it's like
you know
really
what? You know what
good for
Cashman's got to
you.
do? He's got to open the windows. It stinks in there, man. They play again. Everybody knows me. I'm not. This is not WFAN. People say, "Oh, you talk about sports too much." I do, but when you're sitting on your couch with a beer watching the Yankee game, even the casual observers like, this is awful. Like it's bad. They stink. Guy striking out. Volpe again. He has one good game. Then he makes two errors. I think he's got. Is it true? He's got like 13 errors now. Like that's
Leads the league.
unbelievable.
Leads
It's
the league.
unbelievable. Anyway, the Yankees stink. I think I picked up this guy McMahon. He's batting 250 again. The new rule is when there's a trade, I have to call up Dave and say, Dave, who is this guy? That's how you know it's over. Like I'm like, and Dave's like, well, and then you were like, you were trying to sell him. Well, he's got a really good glove, but yeah, he's batting 217.
I told you though. I told you. I was like, we basically got DJ LeMahieu back.
Yeah, we got we got a younger DJ LeMahieu who doesn't have weird.
Not by many years. I mean,
yeah.
And then they made another trade the other day, and apparently there's one more blockbuster in the chamber. But it's like, at what point do you realize, like, okay, this is probably not the year for it? You got Judge on the IL. It's just a mess. It's a mess right now, and I don't know how to fix it.
And
I don't
then Judge is hurt. Which as soon as you hear that word, was it ulnar elbow?
It's basically
thing?
what causes Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, so,
but it's like if it's and that's another thing. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's like in the arm where like but the fact that like Boone said after the 10-day stint on the IL, he's gonna have to bat. And that's it, like a DH. And then you're like, he's already briefed Stanton on potentially playing the field. I'm like, oh my God, the wheels are really falling off this team.
Well, you know what I Stanton said.
You and I could play better field than fucking Giancarlo Stanton right now.
Let me tell you something. See now, this is where I'm different. First of all, Stanton's response, I'll be fine. Put me out there, right? And another thing is, remember when he played last year or 2 years ago, really, a couple years back? Fly ball came, he caught it, he threw it in. Like I was like, this guy is so like.
Yeah, but for somebody wound so tight like Stanton, who can get hurt at any given moment, like every fly ball, like Bellinger's making some serious, like he makes up a lot of ground when he's out there. If it's Stanton, like a line drive over Stanton's head, there will be no play on it. So no play.
Stanton gets hurt ordering DoorDash on his phone. So let it play out. Like let him play.
Man, but they don't have a fucking choice. It's not like,
but you can't take it. But I'm like, but what Boone didn't say was, I don't know what to do because Stanton's our second. We got to have the best two hitters in the lineup, which is Stanton and Judge. Nobody else. They all suck. Stanton just hits bomb. Anyway, the whole thing stinks. But of course, if your eyesight stinks, what do? That's right, Jay Bird. You got to go to Absolute Eyewear, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, down in Woodbridge with a B in New Jersey, 732-326.
Eyes.
There you go. 3937 732-326.
You know what? Hold on 1 second. If you got 40 seconds, here's an old clip just created by me for Chop Sports Media for you, Johnny and Bert. Here we go. Hold on.
There we go.
You know, myself and Gooch are both getting a little older. One of the first things to go is your vision. Thank goodness for our hookup over at Absolute Eyewear in Woodbridge, New Jersey, right on Main Street next to the train station. They have glasses for all ages, all budgets. They have safety glasses, sports glasses. They are a full-service powerhouse offering eye exams and even free lenses for the kids. They work with BCBS, AAA, AARP, giving massive discounts. They're open 5 days a week, closed on Wednesdays and Sundays. Call 732-326-3937 to get your first pair of Ray-Ban, Burberry, Coach, Polo, you name it, they got it. Go see Craig and Johnine right now.
Wow, that's an old school commercial. You sound like
my voice was so much higher. It was before the testosterone.
It's testosterone, all the shit you take, you stupid ass wrestler. And also, Charles Oakley forgot to blow the leaves in front of the store when they took the photograph. So let's go back to that. Guy's taking a picture of the store. You can't sweep up a little bit?
Yeah, well, listen, I didn't take it.
Anyway, Absolute Eyewear here at Shea. What else we got? Now, a couple of things. We're gonna get off of sports in a second, but in the history of sports, I cannot think of a more ill-timed strike conversation than the WNBA. This to me, I think it's the most. It should be that CNN, Fox News should lead off with this story. someone should, if I was the anchor, I'd go like, and with a league that has been rescued by Caitlin Clark and the NBA giving it millions of dollars a year, they decided to go on strike. First of all, when the big sports go on strike, fans are pissed. Everyone's like, "Fuck you! You're making $80 million a year." Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's gonna. This one's like, what? Like you don't make any money. You don't. What? Like,
did you by any chance see? I don't know who it was. It might have been Angel Reese. I don't know. Did you see the girl's wig fall off?
No.
So they. I don't know who it is. I'm remissing it because I don't care.
Oh, she went to the hole and the wig flew off. Like
the wig flew off, and then not only that, they stopped the game. She runs into the dressing room as if it's like a catastrophic injury. The broadcasters don't even put it over as if like what happened. They're like, stoppage and play here. And it's like, no, you lost your wig. And people are just like, oh my god, like it was just must-see television. Honestly,
I don't understand, and I'm not getting into any racial thing. It's just like.
I don't care who it was.
Dear WNBA, you finally got a little bit of love. You finally went from like 8 followers to 12. And now you're going on strike. And if they go on, I swear, if I was the NBA, I'd be like, go ahead, go on strike. Because the 1,800 that show up at a 20,000 arena most of the time. And I refuse to believe all these rating things. I refuse to believe it. Oh my, even the New York Post has 2 pages, fold out. Paper on the WNBA. I can't lick my fast enough to get across. Oh my God. Nobody reads the paper anymore. I know. I got a booking this week here at Shea.
Hey.
Booking for DraftKings. I went to the fitting yesterday. This is how you know you're a fat fuck, right? You give them the sizes, which I think are accurate.
You thought were accurate.
Hey, Jimmy, just go behind the curtain there and try these pants on. And you're like, whoop! You go to do the buttons, and it's like, that'll do it here. I look like Gary Reason's the Giants stopping at the Denver Bronco play. I was like, ooh, not going to make it over the goal line here. And then I'm like, she gives me another pair of pants. And then I'm like, so all of a sudden I said, wait a minute. Listen, I'm a fat bastard, but hang on a second. So I became my father. I picked up my jeans. I was like, see these jeans? These are 36. I fit. And she's like, I don't know. Well, sometimes, they're mislabeled. She was trying to cover. I was like, you just called me fat again. And then I had to wear a full mechanic's outfit, overalls and stuff, which, by the way, that should be a sport. It's called, the name of the league is called Getting Out of Overalls. Dude, I had the overalls on, right? The one-piece things. And I was like, she goes, Jimmy, we're going to put another one, different color. I zipped it down. All of a sudden, I was like, I said, I need help. I can't get out. I can't get out of my own clothes. But they found something that looks pretty good. So
you do sweat when you put your spikes on. So yeah,
putting my spikes on. I actually, when someone says how early to get to the game, I'm like, I used to get to the game 10 minutes before. Now I got to get there 20 minutes before. They're like, why? I got to put my spikes on. It just takes time. I got to get them out. And I realized my spikes, I bought cheap spikes over the internet. No one on the team is busting my balls how bad my fucking spikes are. They're awful. I bought an awful pair, but $667 here at shit. So that is, so we're shooting. I also had I got 2 commercials that'll be running starting September. One for Hackensack Meridian for 3 in and out, and also DraftKings. So hopefully people don't realize I got to make a certain amount of money to qualify for pension credits and health benefits. And I didn't set my life up properly, like with better second jobs and all the things maybe I should have done. Because I always thought like, no, I can still jack one out. I always thought we were down by 6 at the end of the third quarter. We could win the game, Turns out I was down by 21. And sometimes we cut the lead to 10, but
turns out it was every Rutgers game ever. Actually,
it became. I realized my life is Rutgers versus Ohio State. So you need to earn a certain amount every year, and I've been doing it for like the last 23 years. I've qualified for all this cool stuff, which only 5% of actors do, which is crazy. Maybe it's 8% of all actors qualify for this. I'm one of them. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like Jeff Hussan, 17, 12 years. And but this year, you go on this website, it shows you earnings and stuff. And I'm like, uh-oh, Like it's at the half, and we are not halfway there. But with these two bookings, I am now like, I would say it's a 10-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. I'm down, but you know what?
And now you know NBC is going to throw up the graphic and says Jimmy Palumbo is 108-0 when up 10 going into the
I
fourth
know,
quarter. And you're like, why'd you do that?
And plus, you know what? My daughter, I'm responsible for her health benefits. So it's like, this is when I see that number and it goes over the thing, I'm like, I call everybody in my family, like, got it. Every year I make that call. Last year I qualified by April. I was already over. This year, though, good. And by the way, it's not every gig you book. Certain gigs are not covered, so it's a little complicated. Bottom line is, you go on a website, they tell you your batting average, and right now I'm batting 210. However, we still got a short porch coming up in the fall with these two spots going up, so I got to jack one out. I also had a cool audition. Somebody told me I should start talking about my auditions more, like what I'm auditioning for.
For sure.
Now, some stuff I can't talk about, but I also auditioned for this movie that would be shooting up in Albany area, where I play a guy who's one of these guys. He's at the bar, and a girl walks in, and he realizes it's his neighbor's kid. But she's 21 now. So in my mind, she's still like 11, but she comes up to the bar, and I loved it because the character was one of those guys that he's one of those like guys who kind of, he's a dreamer, and he starts to talk, but he talks about his dreams as if he actually did it. So it's like, I think I'm one of those FBI, a retired FBI guy or CIA guy, and I really haven't done any of it. And this other character, the girl, is trying to research something that happened, a crime thing. And I'm like, well, I got a lot of experience in that area, but he sounds very believable. But yet he's a smart guy. He just gets, I find it hysterical. Plus, any character drinking at a bar to me is right up my alley. So I really get a kick out of that. I'd love to book that. The money's shit, but I get to go up to Albany for a couple of weeks and places. I'll probably get picked up by an Albany softball league for their playoff run. Slap a base hit to right field. So that'd be cool. I also had a couple of big voiceover auditions. I hate when you get, it's an actor thing. You get an audition, right? And it'll say like, name a big company, like, oh my God, something you see. And then you read the whole thing. You're like, oh my God, it's just me. I'm right for this. And then the commercial says like demo only, which means you make, like, if you book it, you make $200 and nobody hears it again. I've booked maybe 10 demos my whole life for a voiceover.
I got a question.
I'm 0 for 10.
I got a question. So I'm on this thing, Mandy.com. It's one of these things where they send you certain auditions too, like just in case I ever get a shot to actually have time to do, voiceover work or whatever. But like, there's certain things where it's like game show host, right? And it's like, but you got to have a British accent.
Right.
Have you done that? Have you ever auditioned for anything that's not of native tongue?
I did a British play by Joe Orton once years ago, where the guy decided to audition all the cast with everybody in the room. So you got to watch everybody audition. And I was in my second year in the league or first year of the league. Everybody was doing a British accent because Joe Orton was a famous British playwright in the 60s or 70s, whatever the hell it was. And I'm like, everybody's doing a British accent. So I raised my hand. Okay. I go, hey, like I remember I had boo. I had nothing. I was a rookie. I go, hey, do we have to do it with a British accent? And the director went, very interesting choice there. What's your name? I'm like, Jimmy. He's like, I would love to see this play without a British accent. But, Jimmy, for our purposes, like he thought I was asking a creative guy. What I was really saying was, hey, I can't fucking do a British accent. So what I do, I go outside. I look over the lines for a second. I'm like, all right, just act like you're like Paul McCartney at an interview. And so I went up and did, and sure as shit, the guy, I got done with my audition, and the guy went, Jimmy, really good, and really, really good accent. That was great. Really, I realized showbiz is so full of shit. I got to know the guy really well. I booked the thing. I didn't realize it was a British playwright. I was playing someone gay. How about that? And the other guy in the scene with me, he was gay. And we had a scene together. It's a big farce where beds are flying around the stage and everything. And so we had to be in bed together, sitting on top of the bed while it spins around. kind of that craziness.
The play was
And
called Brokeback Mountain.
it was called the play was called Loot, and it's a famous play for anybody in that world. So I would say about 10 rehearsals in, okay, the guy playing my partner in the show,
He fell in love with you.
he said to me, he looks at me, he goes, Jimmy, you don't get any of this dialogue, do you? I said, no. He goes, you're reading it awesome, but I can tell you're doing it, but you don't know it would be like someone who never saw a football game going 2nd and 5 on the Miami 5. Here we go. A high spiraling kick taken by Sturcho. And you never saw the sport, because I was completely like, I didn't know the meaning. And then he started showing me different meanings and stuff. I was like, holy shit. Broke bed mattress. That's great. Tyson with a quick 3.
Is this real? Dice Clay?
No. Will Payne.
That would be so funny. Oh, mother tough. It's like, whoa, no, that's the wrong line.
On the last performance, Sunday, it was 2 weeks, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the director's like, Jimmy, you don't know what you're doing, but you do some things really, really well in this play. But I guess the meaning of what I was saying was useless. On the last thing, there's a scene where he gives me like a hug, the guy, like an over-the-shoulder hug, side-by-side kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at him and say a line, and he smacks me on the lips with a really quick thing. I went, I wish they had a camera. I was like, hey. Hey. You know what I was like? I was like, what's his name? Pat Riley calling a timeout before the ball goes in. You remember that?
No. Yeah.
When listen, anybody, Pat Riley fans out there, if a guy on the Knicks didn't rotate to the 3-point shot, the ball would be launched in the air. Already, Pat Riley was looking at the ref. He'd wait for the ball to go in, like, we're calling a timeout. I was like, but he was such a nice guy, and he did it in a very playful way. Thank God. Imagine he got tongue and stuff. But listen, we dated for 4 months after. But that,
and you know what? I never called him back.
But you know what? But okay,
like,
so
right.
That was my experience with accent. But then I get these voiceover auditions. You ready for this? Everyone says Boston accent, right? You know how hard it is to do a Boston accent over a monologue? Like, it's not just no ma ka, it's more than that. And then I get this one, mid-Atlantic Baltimore accent. It's like a half Philly, half Southern thing going on. It's like,
I didn't even know Baltimore had an accent.
There's a whole thing. You go to these actor stores that sell scripts and plays and everything, and they have all these tapes, and you have no idea how many accents are. There's like that Kentucky accent, Southern accent.
Dude, have you seen all that Christian Wilkins stuff? I don't know, man. This
kissing the guy in the head.
Well, that, and it's like there's so many things. Christian Wilkins has like viral clips going around. Like, he was cut because he kissed somebody playfully on the Raiders. And again, like, if you're a no tolerance, no bullshit organization, you might say, you know what, get the hell off this team. You're not. That's not, that kind of behavior isn't welcome. Fine, but like, there's other clips of him like making tackles, and then like his hand, clear as day, goes like up the ass of somebody else. It's like, what? Playing him like a puppet. That's freaking ridiculous. But people are like, this, like on Twitter, they're like, the signs were there. You know?
Oh my God. And so someone's probably going to do John Boy is going to do a whole thing on, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't be, listen, just because it's football, you can't be kissing anybody on the top of the head. What the fuck are you talking? That would drive me nuts. And you know what's funny? He probably stinks too, but they can't
he's not a bad foot. He's defensive tackle. He's a big dude, and like he's a big body. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. So that was my thing there. Also, did you watch the Billy Joel documentary yet?
Not yet. I heard great things though.
Dude,
good.
It's awesome.
Oh, okay.
First of all, it's 2 episodes, but they're 2.5 hours apiece. I was not once did I go, sometimes you're watching a documentary, like, how fucking long is this thing? Not once. Now, I'm not a Billy Joel guy. Like, I like his songs,
I love Billy Joel. My dad raised me on Billy Joel.
Okay, well, let me tell you something. Watch it with your father. It is there was tidbits that I realized about. I mean, I did not realize about his first wife becoming a manager, and what's her name? Christy Brinkley. You could tell. And by the way, everyone's on it. His ex-wife's on it. Christy Brinkley's on it. The other girlfriend, the in-between, the one he has now, And even the woman he has now, they've been married now a while. They got 2 kids. He's an old man. And the wives all speak.
I wonder if they got Horatio Sands on it.
They have that.
No,
That's on
nobody's
there.
going to get that joke except for me and Tyson Hogan.
It's there. If they have that clip.
Do they?
Yes, they do. It's so honest. And a lot of things like, they talk about Piano Man and like Garth Brooks. They talk about Piano Man, how iconic it is and all that stuff. But that was a big hit for him way back in the day. But that song, I Love You Just the Way You Are, that song, who Billy Joel admits, a lot of artists like, he was like, I hated it. I didn't want it on the album. But his producer was like, this is it. But his wife, after they put out a hit single, the single came out, it did okay. His wife, she cut a deal with the record company, said, you get the first single to be released. I get the second one. She chose that one, and every band member's like, they're all old now, and they still play with them. They're like, then that song came out. That was it, man. We did everything. It played all over the world. But, Billy Joel was a flawed guy. He could be a little bit of a prick from Hicksville, Long Island. He was also a drunk, and he was also egotistical, and he was also a super, super creative. I did a little bit of a deep dive into his lyrics, and his lyrics are
supposedly like Uptown Girl was about somebody too. Like I don't know if
that
that's
was
true.
about Christy Brinkley.
Oh, is that what it was?
That was a playful one. He did a song. That song, The Entertainer. Basically, the words to that are, "I'm the entertainer. All you motherfuckers in showbiz suck. My agents, my managers." And then he got fucked by his wife's brother overtook his money, and he lost. Oh my God, he had to start from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, where is this at? Netflix?
What?
Netflix?
Yeah, it's HBO Max. HBO
Max.
It's the best music documentary. I think it's top. The original Apollo 13 documentary and this one are just powerful. So because everyone's still alive and they talk very honestly. But the part that got me is you could tell Billy Joel's lucky in this sense. Now, everybody knows, divorce, whatever, but his first wife was truly the love of his life, and then they got divorced. His second wife, Christy Brinkley, was again one of the loves of his life. He loved Christy Brinkley. The third one was definitely like they need someone, a right-hander, come in for like a David Justice, swing the bat a little bit. By the way, she had deep LSU. She had the LSU receiver thing on. And then again, his fourth wife is also like the love of his life. I think it's fascinating that he had married 4 times, but only one of them was like, want to talk it over. The other ones are really real. And there's a scene where what really got to me on this part 2, Christy Brinkley's talking, and she teared up because she pretty much broke up with him because he was a drunk, and he started to act very irrational. And they had a child, and she was like, "I can't do this. I got to protect my child." And he wrote a song for his daughter, who is also a singer now. I forget what her name is. She sings with him, and it's that song "Lullaby." You familiar with that one?
Yeah.
Listen to me. If you're a divorced guy and you have a daughter, and you hear that song, well, here I am sitting there, 6 glasses of wine deep on my couch here at Shea. That song came on, and I needed talk about my wig falling off and running through the tunnel. I had to talk it over. I was like, and they show different. He does it live sometimes, and then Christy Brinkley's crying on camera, and then the daughter's like, "Yeah, I have trouble listening to that song." It's
is he in it?
Oh, the whole time. Honestly, talks about his motor. He says, look, there's a lot of rumors about me that are not true. Like that he got like 7 DWIs. Nope. He never got one. But he did. His motorcycle accident. He was driving a motorcycle in the Hamptons, half in the bag. And I guess he got off on some of those. But he definitely, his alcohol use, it doesn't seem like he was a drug guy, drinking wine guy, but it's fascinating. And the stories about his father, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. I think it was awesome. I recommend it to everyone. Please go out and check that out. In other news, so Billy Joel documentary, I forget what it's called. Well, it's the Billy Joel documentary. I figure it out from Netflix. Is there anything worse than getting a new computer for your mother and trying to hook it up for her at 85 years old? My mother was cursing out Biden. She was cursing out AI. She was cursing out I want my typewriter back. My mother was the barrage of punches that I took trying to explain to my mother like where the mouse goes. Even though she's decent at the computer, any new thing, technology, introducing to your parents, that should be a documentary called Introducing Your Parents to New Technology. I was like, Ma, it's the same as you've ever had. It's the same thing. No, it's not. I was like, Ma, what do you want me to do? I literally had, Ma, listen, it's there. Use it if you want, and I was like, oh my God. But she was, I started to make her laugh. I'm like, Ma, you're really being, and of course I set it up wrong initially. So now I'm the asshole. I told you don't know nothing either. Now I'm getting cursed out. I was like one of those like bad coaches in the 70s that only plays, coaches 1 year. In other big news, of course, on August 15th, a certain young woman with the last name Palumbo is making her visit to Rutgers University. My daughter, Natalie Joan, is doing the first pre-visit. You go check out the school. I can't wait for that because let me tell you what, we talked about this a month ago. I drove around Rutgers. I was like, wow, what a shitty place. The campus is the most, it was cloudy that day, and I'm like, they were like, oh, that's okay. And I was like, this is awful. I didn't know where to take it. I can't wait. By the way, how bad am I going to be in the back? If we go around, we're going to be in a bus going around. I can either make every single one of those people go to Rutgers, or I can make everybody stop at the third stop and going, I'm sorry, there's a guy back there. We're not going here.
I remember the one game we went to when you drove and we were looking for the bar afterwards. You were like, this is where I had my first, and this is where and this is like on your left. It's like you were doing all this world tour of Rutgers. It's great.
So it's crazy, but I'm looking forward to it. I don't think she'll go there. But first of all, you got about like 340 to get into the damn school now. I still love that they only take like 60% of the kids that apply or some shit like that. But West Virginia University takes 97% of the people that.
Is she in line for any kind of like dance scholarship or anything like
that? No. This is just going to be where you want to go. She's looking at. I can't even talk about it personal, but she's looking at schools that are within a couple hours away. One of those is James Madison. She might have an interest in that. I heard that's a nice campus, and a few that are around 3 or 4 hours away. But she's looking forward to the Scarlet Knights, which of course. The Thursday before Labor Day weekend, Rutgers opens up just a month away. I don't know if you're around that day. If I have extra tickets, I'll let you know. It says a Thursday night game. Yeah, two big games early on are that game and the Friday night Iowa at home, game 4. We could be 3-0, although I did a deep dive on Miami of Ohio.
I keep seeing all these like new recruits that your guys, Rutgers is bringing in. And I feel like everybody's getting a big hype over it. And I'm like, okay, this has to be good, right? Like.
It's called the preseason articles. I do it every year. You know what it's like? It's like a drug dealer. Just take a few. Just listen. Take this pill. It'll ease your mind a little bit. Ease your next thing you know, you're shooting needles in your toes trying to get high. So, that ought to be fun. But of course, don't forget if your carpets look like shit, Oxy Magic USA.com. Go talk to Tom and Natalie there. Dave with the point up there. Of course, listen, they're great. The stuff dries quick. They're in and out. My carpets right now, definitely want to talk it over. I got this light carpet. I have to get it cleaned every like 4 months. Awful. But go to Oxy Magic USA, OXY Magic USA. And also don't forget One Bite Creative. I know anybody who has a website, I know it's shitty. Call up, what's his name? I don't even know his fucking name. Call Brian up at One Bite Creative. Hey, listen, it's a long show.
What's his name? I don't even know his fucking name.
I know. I just talked to him on the phone. He tried to help me out with something, and he gave me a little bit of a brush off. Brian, hello, Brian. Brian, One Creative with the cat thing from Card Sharks.
Like shadowyourpussy.com or something like that.
There we go. Yeah, your cat day here at the stadium. One Bite Creative. Check him out. The guy really is awesome. I think Dave might be using him. We'll try to get a discount for him. Well, that is about it. Is there anything worse than having a guy come to your house right now who's looking to put in new kitchen cabinets in my condo? How screwed am I? I have no.
Very.
I'm going to say, listen, do you have I have $5 for these cabinets. Can we do this? But I have not heard how well. What the hell was the name of that product on the shark? The cat
I forget.
thing.
I forget. I forget the name of the product.
Yeah, I got to find out. I got to call and find out how well it's. I'll check with that. All right. Well, we're at Shea. That'll do it here. Right. So I'll let you know how we do. Game 2 of the playoffs. There's 4 teams left. We take on the number 1 seed here with the aging veteran.
I'll be watching ESPN. I'll be watching ESPN 8, the Ocho, for any results. So
you know what I fear? I'm due for a bad game, an 0-4 2-error game.
Now's not the time to deliver a bad performance, Jimmy.
All right, that's it. All right, kids. We'll see you.
Good night, everybody.
All right.